I love calling people out on their shit. Do I feel slightly bad? Not really, because I'm trying to bring integrity to this industry and I'm putting you, the growers, first. And I'm trying to bring and show you guys a level of character that is in this industry. And I'm really proud of Dan for actually coming on board and not being a little bitch, because there's a lot of people in this industry that are bitches and wouldn't have accepted my invitation to come onto the platform and set my fucking ass straight, because at the end of the day, I don't know everything. Again, opinions are like assholes. Everyone has one. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. If you haven't checked out our YouTube membership site, please go ahead and do so. I've set up an inexpensive way for creating a little bit better communication for people that need their questions answered a little quicker. So before we get into the actual video, which we're going to be talking a little bit about extraction and just my own experience behind it, and one of our members asked me about it, so I'm going to give you a little bit of an update of the drama that's been occurring in the last 24 hours. So one of the companies that I gave a recent review on, Green Cleaner, called me up and said they're going to sue me because of the video I released. At the end of the day, because I actually know this gentleman, actually it's a funny thing, I actually thought one of the owners that I actually liked, I thought he was the owner, but he ended up not being the owner. The company ended up getting bought out by another owner, which I actually like him too. I got him on the phone because I heard he was trying to get hold of me through the grapevine, and because obviously he felt like the video I said was slanderous and wrong. You only have really two options in these situations, or at least in my mind. I can either basically say, hey bro, okay, sue me and let's go ahead and go down this direction. If he did that, I would have aired every single situation that happened with me and Green Cleaner just at the end of the day, so you could see how this company handles their problems. So I gave him option A, and then I also gave him option B. Option B was be part of the side of integrity. Be part of one of those companies that are going to be here for the next 10 or 15 fucking years. And I gave him option B, and I gave him an opportunity to come onto my channel. You can go in and check out my video, which is at just an opinion. Like I always say, opinions are like assholes. Everyone has one. And you can actually check out the video with one of the owners of Green Cleaner setting my ass straight, telling me where I'm wrong. That's all I give a shit about, is being set straight, man. It's easy to give an opinion, but it's hard to own up when you're wrong. And at the end of the day, that's why I'm giving this gentleman an opportunity to tell me where I'm wrong, so that you guys know the actual information that's out there, so you can make a great decision on the types of nutrient lines, pesticides, or fungicides that you decide to use on your plants. Because at the end of the day, this is a medicine. And if we treat it like shit and we give it shit, it's not going to provide the medicine we need throughout the rest of our lifetime. Which leads into our video, asking a little bit about information around extraction, because growers are getting to that point and they're going to have to decide, do they have a good harvest? Can they take their flower and take it to market or not? They take their leafy material, send it to extraction, and maybe make topical and edible or some type of other product that can be consumed in this industry. The issue I always talk about is if you're going to use an oil or use a pesticide, just understanding that different oils do merge together. And this is actually where I wanted to talk about specifically. If I could give you one golden nugget to go walk away with on this video, is to understand the boiling points. That's the key to absolutely everything. Understanding the boiling points and when these different oils actually volatilize off so that you can separate out your oils through various distillation processes is the key. Obviously, you have ethanol, CO2, BHO. I think I said that right, BHO, butane, whatever it is. You have cold water extraction and a whole variety of different options you could use to actually get the essential oils off the plant. It doesn't matter whether you want lavender or whatever you're looking for. Understanding, once again, when these oils actually volatilize off will allow you to extract what you're looking for. And so something to really understand around the whole boiling point and through distillation. And of course, we're going to make more in-depth videos in the future. And I'm actually going to, hopefully in the next year or two, walk you through creating a thin film technology ethanol extraction system that you can actually, that's commercial grade, where you can actually extract enormous amounts of inventory very quickly in a matter of hours or a day or two, which normally it could take weeks or even months. And I hopefully through the progress of this channel, creating more videos, we will get to the answering those types of questions in more depth. Although for right now, walking away with the golden nugget is understanding boiling points, right? So if you set the temperature to 220 degrees Fahrenheit, you're going to get that essential oil off the plant. But understanding that when you set it up at this point, point, there's going to be a point where these other essential oils, as you increase the temperature, will volatilize off. And what's going to end up happening is that you'll have like a batch A and a batch B and a batch C, or kind of like different amounts that will come off, and you're like, okay, 60% or 70%. And this is going to go through testing, right? You're going to actually have to test your essential oils as they're coming off the distillation process and understand how concentrated they are as they go through the first run of distillation, and then the second and the third, or whatever methodology you're going through. And through the process of short path distillation, or whatever method you're using, going from a full spectrum crude to then going to different isolates. And how you actually end up making isolates, initially what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get the bulk of what this amount is. And then the next amount is going to have actually a little bit of both, because what ends up happening is these oils actually combine and change the boiling point of this. Yes, you're going to have some volatilizing off at certain points at this temperature, and as you slow, and it's probably not going to even be at 220, it'll probably be at 224, 226, 228, and as you slowly increase it, more of this essential oil will volatilize off in a more concentrated form. But at some point, as you get to the higher temperature, you're going to have some of this start to volatilize off, and what you'll end up having to do is separate out one batch, which is a higher concentration, and then take this batch and begin to volatilize it off. And you could do that a lot. Again, the more precise you are in your instruments, you'll be able to go through this process and remove different types of impurities, and I'm talking about going from a crude to a 80% isolate roughly. If you go first past 80, roughly around 80% for CBD, it starts to crystallize. If you go closer to the 88, 90, it'll start to crystallize on the other essential oil, what most of the industry is looking for. And then as you come into these other essential oils, what ends up happening is you can see they actually volatilize off at much higher temperatures. And this is actually what's really interesting. And obviously I'm not a master at this. I got to a certain level, and what I think our claim to fame is, and it hasn't been implemented in the industry yet, is our large scale industrial water extraction technique, which no one's ever seen, no one's ever done. And I'm not giving that secret away for nothing, but encouraging you to understand the science will allow you to go down your own pathway of figuring out this process, because there are hundreds of ways to actually extract oil off of a plant. Funny is, someone actually showed me an extraction technique that was something like 400 or 500 years old, and it was really interesting when it kind of gets me in my mind where I'm thinking, oh, we're all in this stuff and it's all new to me, but it is actually really has been around for a super long time, and it's just been an alchemy into most situations that people never really learned to understand. And the secrets have been out there for a long time, and now they're getting out there to the mass public because of our beautiful industry, getting more involved in the smaller mom and pop shops and smaller commercial growers. One of the things that is interesting though is that a lot of these different types of higher volatile compounds, like I said, evaporate off at higher temperatures, and some people actually will use a water distillation method to extract some of these other terpenes because they don't want to affect the taste and other reasons like that, which again we can get into it later. But the thing about the water extraction method is that it only gets up to a certain temperature, and as you can see right here, and yes, you can pull on a vacuum and do a few other things to increase the chances of getting these other types of profiles off of that extraction method, but water only gets to a certain temperature, so you end up actually having to figure out and use other ways to get to these higher level temperatures and collect them at certain points and then separate them out. Again, we're talking about distillation. There is actually other methods, and I can't remember the specific name of the machine, but basically it uses other types of solvents to actually separate these out and create an isolate. And my brain's lapsing right now. I'm a little tired, but basically this is the golden nugget, guys. You understand what the temperatures need to be and where you need to go, you're going to be able to get there. You'll be able to figure it out, and you'll be able to create your own method and your own psychology around your systems and processes, which at the end of the day, if they're good and if they're great, they might be able to be competitive and be able to drop the price point of the overall cost of production or cost of manufacturing or cost of extraction, whatever metrics you're using to track your information. I hope this video was helpful. Please give me a thumbs up. And like I said, I'm super looking forward to bringing Dan on the show. Hopefully he's already come on board at this point before the release of this one, so you guys have links to both those channels. Dan is the owner of Green Clean. Okay, so what is Smite? So Smite is comprised of rosemary oil, cottonseed oil, peppermint oil, and geranium oil. Rosemary, peppermint, and geranium are all repellents. Cottonseed